Welcome back. Child access prevention laws are meant to protect children from accessing firearms by holding a parent or guardian responsible for the actions or potential actions a child takes with a firearm. But these laws are on the books in only about half the U.S. A recent academic study conducted by Boston Children's Hospital and spanning 26 years of data looked at firearm fatalities in children under 15 in states with varying levels of child access prevention laws, from those with the most restrictive laws in comparison to states with no restrictions at all. And with us now to discuss the study and what these laws mean for keeping kids safe, I'm joined by Dr. Eric Fliegler of Boston Children's. Dr. Fliegler, thanks for your time tonight, and let's get right into this. What are child access prevention laws?
The idea of a child access prevention law is to make sure that guns are stored in a safe manner to prevent children from being accidentally or intentionally harmed or killed. And so in the United States, there are 25 states that actually have no laws at all that talk about how to keep children away from firearms. There are 9 states that have what are known as recklessness laws. And a recklessness law says, if I as the adult hand my gun to a child and they hurt somebody with it, then I can be held responsible, kind of a almost a no-brainer type of law. And then there are the negligence laws, and these are in 16 states. The negligence laws say that the way I store my firearm matters. If a child gets access to that gun and uses it to hurt somebody, if they just get access to it and say bring it to a school, or even if they could get access to the gun, I as the owner could be held liable.
What did your research show about the effectiveness of these laws?
So this is a great question. When we look at states that have the recklessness laws, those laws that say if I hand a child my gun and they hurt somebody, it actually does not appear to have any greater effectiveness than having no laws at all when it comes to reducing fatalities. But when we look at the states with the negligence laws, what we see is that there's roughly a 13% reduction in fatalities. And so across the United States in the 25 years that we did our study, there were 13,697 children who died, who really did not need to because they found a firearm in their home. And so we can see pretty significant reductions. We have estimates that say if you're to have the most stringent laws, the ones that say that if you were to store a firearm in a way that the child could get access to it, we would see, if this was universally across the United States, about a 29% reduction. And what that means, about 4,000 children who wouldn't have died. When we look at specifically at Missouri, since 2010, from 2010 to 2018, there were 139 young children ages 0 to 14 who died from firearms. And that's really what we're trying to prevent.
And so based on these results, what would you suggest that lawmakers do?
Sure, this is really important. The idea in our country is we have a lot of people who own guns. As a matter of fact, you have about 22 million households that have children in them that have guns in them. And in those, among those 22 million households, you've got 4.9 million children who live in a house that has the gun stored in the least safe manner. In other words, it's loaded. It is probably in the child's father's nightstand right next to their bed. And people are doing this because they want to protect their households, which is reasonable. But when we store a gun like this, we are clearly putting a child at risk. And so the best thing that could happen across the country is to pass the laws that say if you're going to have a firearm in your household, it needs to be stored safely. In states that have no laws, there are no laws that tell them how a gun needs to be stored. You can actually store it in any way that you would like, the least safe manner or the most safe. And the most safe, of course, being separate from the ammunition, locked up, with the ammunition locked up as well. But when you have a law that says that the guns need to be stored safely and that you could be held negligent even if the child could access it, well, then what happens is you have owners that are going to change their storage. When you look at states like Massachusetts, which have these laws, actually when the guns are sold, there is a mandate that they are sold with some sort of mechanism, a trigger lock or something else, to protect people from using the guns who are not authorized to use it. And that's really the objective.
And where can folks go for more information about this crucial topic?
So this study is freely available. It's being published in JAMA Pediatrics today. And if you'd like to look up the specific laws for your state, there is a wonderful database at statefirearmlaws.org. Anybody can look up not only the gun laws in their state, but see how they've evolved in the last 27 years.
Dr. Eric Fliegler from Boston Children's Hospital, our thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
And we'll be back after this.